from Luxembourg. Today we have a Vuejs expert, full stack developer, public speaker, chess player. I want to play with you, and also a one-wheel rider. Please check his videos that are awesome. How are you, Marc?
Fine. I'm amazing. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah. In these days, I will improved a little bit, just a little bit with introductions. I don't know.
Yes,
We will never remember the old one. Yeah. So we are here to talk with Marc, just half an hour and so. I'd like to start with your road to development. So tell us how you became a developer, what are you currently doing, everything you want.
Okay, sure. So here in Luxembourg, when you are in high school, like 16 years old, you can choose a direction, whether it's computer science, natural sciences, biology, mathematics, whatever, mechanics. And I chose computer science. So that's where it all started. That was at the age of 16. So there were 4 years in high school where we had this specialized program or the specialized curriculum for computer science. So we learned programming in Turbo Pascal and in Delphi, so old stuff, but
old stuff.
it was interesting. It's still interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of things also with soldering not motherboards, but soldering circuits and making own circuits.
Yeah.
It was quite extensive. I think it was a pretty good experience. And that's where I got more and more interested in programming itself. So after high school finished, I decided, I want to go to university. And I went to Austria for 3 years of bachelor's and 2 years of master's degree in the same university. Also focused on computer science. And I think the master had a focus on embedded systems, which was more like CMOS stuff and so on. But I'm not that much into it anymore, but it was also about mobile and stuff. And after university, I got this amazing opportunity to start working in Mexico for a university. And I was like, I don't have any plans. I can go to Mexico. And I went to Mexico and I didn't really, I had some Spanish courses in university, but pretty basic. So I learned Spanish there. And I was basically hired by that university to build their intranet. So they wanted a system where they could manage the teachers, the students, the grades, payments, many events, like special events they had. Like it was a whole big system. And I didn't know much about web development. So I learned a little bit of Ruby on Rails. And it was learning on demand. So I just got into it, started with, okay, let's register some students. And then we have the different careers and we have different semesters, and it started getting bigger and bigger. And they took more people to the team. So students that got a scholarship, they paid that scholarship by working with me. And which was great. I learned a lot about teamwork and management and that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of fun. And the project was really interesting. And it also worked pretty well afterwards. But after 2 years, I moved away from that city. It was called Coatzacoalcos in southeast of Mexico. I moved to another city to pursue entrepreneurship. And there I also made it was all software based. So I made a lot of different things. One among them is a food delivery platform where people could order their food and we would bring it to them. All of that venture capital stuff, it all failed. All the startup stuff, it all failed. The furthest I got was I got to present my startup in a competition in MIT in Boston, and I got invited to a business accelerator in the Silicon Valley for 1 month, which was pretty cool. to live the whole thing. And we pitched at the end of the boot camp. We pitched to like a room full of venture capitalists, and it was very exciting. And
the dream of every startup to be there.
Yeah,
pitch
yes,
product,
yes, but it's not as glamorous as it sounds, because they roasted my pitch afterwards. But that's okay. That's okay.
But I think that this experience will
Yeah.
be useful for you in the future. I'm sure about that, because by doing things, even if they don't go as you think, as you would like, in the future, in some way, that pitch, I think that it will be useful for you when you want to present something else. And you have been roasted there, so now you are prepared to everything. I think. So
yes. It's prepared
yeah.
me a lot for public speaking, which we come, I think, later in this. But after all the startups failed, and I sort of ran out of money, and I asked around in Facebook with my friends, does anybody know a company favorably in Europe, so they would pay me in euros and still living in Mexico, like that would hire me. And a friend of a friend of a friend, he said, oh yeah, we have a small company here in Germany and we would need some help. And I made some front end stuff with PHP and jQuery, and it all went further. They hired me more and more. They liked my work, and they invited me to go to Germany a couple of times. They flew me in, and then I decided to go there for a year. And from that year, it was 2 years working on the legacy software, which was quite interesting, but it was still legacy software. And I saw all those amazing technologies out there, like Vue.js and Node.js and MongoDB and WebSockets and what have you. And I was like, I need to grow more in that job. It was a great job, but I didn't grow myself anymore. So I told them, sorry guys, I have to go away and learn new things and develop myself. And they hold me on retainer for bug fixing and stuff, and that was fine. And after I learned like Vue.js and Node.js and MongoDB and WebSockets and all the things, I decided, all this technology can be used to replace their legacy system. And I just started coding up their product with new technology. And I went to them like, ta-da, is this something you're interested in? And they were like first like, are you trying to steal our idea? And then I was like, no, I'm trying to help you. And they were like, oh, this is very interesting. And so they bought the product from me for a sizable amount, and they kept me as a developer to first maintain the product, developing features and so on, and to train their team, because their team was not trained yet for Vue.js and Node.js. And I still train them, and I check that the code is the merge requests or the pull requests they make are great. So and I fix them, and I tell them, oh, maybe you can do it like this and this. It's easier to read, or more maintainable, more performant, whatever. And yes, that's where I'm at right now. I'm working with a lot with Vue.js, and also since like a few months ago, Nuxt. I'm a big fan of Nuxt now. It's the next thing to how do you call it, the pendant to Next, but for Vue.js, which I'm a big fan of now, because I made my website in it, and it's just so smooth.
And I think what you say, it's really interesting, because I think it's a situation that happens very often to developers. Maybe they are working in a company, everything seems fine, they're using maybe old technologies, but you say, so I can stay maybe 1 year more here, 2 years here, 3 years here. And then I think that one key for we developers is that you need to keep growing anyway. So you made a really brave choice. I think that it paid back, because sometimes it's not easy to say, no, it's more important for me to grow instead of just getting paycheck and just don't think about that. Because maybe
yes,
for our type of job is really one key thing.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
you have to practice long life learning, and also it wasn't an easy decision because I was
of course.
kind of key in their organization. I made a lot of the stuff. I had a monopoly on a lot of the knowledge, and it was a decision that took me like to take like a year. I was like, oh no, they need me, I can't go. And then, oh, they need me, and they still need me, but I need to go.
Yeah, or maybe the people is great. The people are maybe it's fantastic. So
the team was fantastic. It's still fantastic working with them.
Of course.
But and I gave them like 6 month notice. I was like, in 6 months I'm going away, not like the 2 weeks notice or the 3 months or whatever. It was, I'm going to give you 6 months because I know you need me, but I need to get out of here to learn new stuff. And they try to keep me with different things. Oh, what if you pay you more? What if this and that? I was like, that all sounds great, but it doesn't fulfill my purpose in order to grow as a developer. So it was a hard choice to do, and it paid off at the end, which is great. But
this is one of the things that we must stay focused on, that you must keep learning new things, because new things they keep coming every day, almost every month. So
it's not that extreme anymore than a few years ago, where every other day was a new frame with the next framework. Now we are a little bit more stable. It's like a Vue.js, React, and still Angular, and it's kind of stays afloat like that. Then there's some libraries around, like now Tailwind is pretty much getting its ground on the CSS front together with Bootstrap, and those are like the two major ones. Either you have like the components already, or you make your own components with Tailwind. So those two, of course, you have other like material design and so on, but it kind of,
and
it's a great time to be alive.
Of course. Even if we are in 2020, it's still a great time. Let's talk in years, not this exact year.
This year wasn't that great for humanity in general, but in general for computer science, or for web development, it's amazing.
And I'd like you to talk a bit more about Vue.js, because it's a technology that I'm used sometimes, but never really in production environment. So maybe just some tests, some little projects. I talked yesterday with Jenny Potts. I don't know if you know her.
Yes.
She uses Vue.js, so she's excited about that.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so you need to watch the video today that I released today. So I didn't even know that. So can you tell us a little bit more about Vue.js?
Oh yes,
please.
Vue.js, for the ones that don't know, like reactive frameworks, very quick. A reactive framework is where you change a variable, and in the DOM or in the website itself, it changes stuff. So you don't go ahead and you look for the element and then you say element.hide or something like in jQuery, for example. So yes, Vue.js is a reactive framework, and I really like it because it's easy to learn. So you get people excited about it pretty easily. So people can get started pretty easily. In my opinion, or what I read on the internet and my little experience with React, is that it's easier to learn than React, but that is very objective because I'm a big fan of Vue. There are others probably that say like, oh no, React is way better and I like it way better than React, and it's also easier because because Vue doesn't make sense to me. But so in Vue you have like these components, or these single file components. So you have your HTML markup and your JavaScript and your CSS all in one file for each component. I don't know exactly how it's done in React. I think you have a lot of flexibility how to do it there. You have like styled components and I don't know what else, but what I like about this single file components is that when you have an issue in one component, you know exactly in which file to look at. You don't have to scan your CSS files. Where is this line that does this and this? So it's pretty cool. And that's one thing I love about Vue.js technically, but I think the thing that I probably love most about it is the community itself. Weird, but yes. So React is backed by this huge company, Facebook, and Vue is only backed by its community and its creator, Evan You. And so the community, I feel, in Vuejs is a lot tighter. So if you go to someone, or even if it's a core team member or a maintainer, you go to them, you ask them a question, you're almost sure to get an answer from them if they are not too busy. So and the whole community, everyone is everyone is so hyped all the time about when you go like to a Vue.js developer. Hey, can you help me? Oh yes, Vue.js, of course I help you. Yeah, this amazing. Oh yes, you can do this and this to make it more performant. And have you seen this?
And I think that you can get pretty good answers from the core team about Vue.js.
Yes,
I think. I think they know it pretty well. Yeah. Yeah. So we talked already about this, that software is not about coding or the 1 millisecond faster framework, but it's about people. It's about people and the community.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And it's about like, in sometimes you need that millisecond because, for example, if you travel to Mars, you might need the millisecond.
Yeah, but you also need a very, very great community to go to Mars. You can't go there alone. So
yes. But for web development, like, yes, you need performance. Yes, you cannot load a 5,000 pixel image into like a 200 pixel canvas. So you need to optimize your stuff, but like it's most about the people. So you write code for people to read it, not for the computer to read it. The computer will transpile it into something the computer understands anyways. So you need to write code that is readable and by humans, so that it's maintainable easily. And that plays into that what you said, Francesco, with the community. The community, the people are important. The community is important. It's important that when you write a component, that other people in the community can easily understand it and read it and share it and implement it into their own projects and improve it easily, so they don't have to figure out how did he do this, why is this so strange. So it's all about like sharing stuff. It's like not like in the 70s where people wrote very cryptic code, so they have the intellectual ownership of it, because if they would leave the company, nobody would know what it is. So they made like lines like this, very complicated with some strange code. I think those times have passed. I hope those times have passed. From what I have seen on GitHub, it has, because everything is so easy to read nowadays.
So we are maybe in 40 years we are starting to understand something, maybe. Maybe we finally are starting getting there to understand how things work, how we can do them in a proper way without losing efficiency, but in the proper way. So,
yes, and it's also becoming more and more beginner friendly, which is really great, because you don't need a computer science degree anymore to get into development or web development. It's well, it is always difficult to learn something new, but it is not all that difficult. Like, of course, you have to put in the hours. Of course, you have to put in the practice and the interest and the passion. If you don't have the passion for it, if you don't like it, you're probably not going to have a good time doing it. But otherwise, it's you can learn all of it for free on the internet from people from YouTube and from Udemy courses that are free, and from other sources.
But
free books.
Yeah, but I think even $10, €10.
Yeah.
I would consider them almost free. So it's it's just something for the content creator. So
one thing you asked me about Vue.js before, and I told you one thing I love about it is the community, and a course that I always recommend for learning Vue is Vue Mastery, because not only is it a great content, but they donate 30% of their revenue to Avenue and the Vue project. So that is something huge. Like you're paying on a monthly basis, yes, but you get a lot of stuff in return, and you pay into the community. You pay part of the salary of that person that invented this, which is amazing. I don't think that React has something like that.
I don't know. Let's not tell them, otherwise they do this. And but and I love this idea of community. And I didn't want to interrupt you, but for example, this is exactly what you said. That Jenny, for example, he came from a Python and backend experience, so she had no experience about something about front end, something of course, but she said that she just started with Vue.js. She loves it, so maybe you should check there, because she's really enthusiastic about Vue.js, how it works, templates. So I just gave this some hours ago, and it's good, the feedback. I think now I should get started a little bit with that, and maybe do some project. We could do something together. We've talked about that last time. I don't know when, but I'd love to. And so thank you, because I think it's important to have an idea before starting. Just okay, now I learn all the frameworks, then I'll see. This is what I did, and this is wrong. Don't do that. But but instead, maybe I think that if I would go back, maybe you should use some time to check the frameworks instead of just learning them. Just to check, for example, if you like to have a small good community or other things, and then you get started with one framework, and you go with that for a good amount of time, and maybe create some good project, working project, production ready code, something published maybe. Also the process of publish something is always I think so that helps you to have a complete idea of the framework. So it's not just about coding the hello world things and the to-do list, but instead to publish something online. So so I think if I will come back, I will do this now instead of just trying.
Yes, it's also exciting as a developer. Like you develop something, and then like I put this on a server like Netlify or Vercel, and it's live out there for everyone to use. And you tweet about it, and people watch it, and you would be like surprised by, like, if you do this the first time, you're like, oh no, my code is not good enough, and people will judge me. But people are very helpful. Almost like you always have people that are not, but most of the times people are like giving helpful tips. They say, oh, this is great, you could maybe change this, maybe could change that, maybe it's not that mobile friendly, I give you some tips how to do that. And you learn a lot from it, because you get a lot of input from that. I think it's always exciting to share your projects. It shouldn't just sit on your local host.
Because
that's where projects die.
And now we live in this CI and CD era, so we can publish things, but software will never end, really. We can just look at big companies, Facebook, Twitter. They don't just close the application. It's continuous integration, continuous deployment. For them, it's maybe one per day. I don't know, but even if it's not every day, to publish something, I think that you just need to already think about that this will change in the future. So why don't get some good or bad feedbacks that could help you in improving?
Yes.
Sometimes I think that from some people you also get some good hints. Oh, you could do this. They are very valuable. There are sometimes very valuable feedbacks that maybe you don't have that idea. Some people is basically helping you for free, maybe because they are your friends, or maybe just one people that want to interact with you, that likes you. So why not? Yeah.
Yes, when I started learning these new technologies, I also put stuff on GitHub, and I asked someone, and someone asked me, why don't you use ES6? And I was like, well, I don't know how to compile it properly. And they helped me set up a Webpack configuration. And so they went ahead, they forked my repository, and they made a pull request. And then it was exciting because they helped me fix something or improve it at least. And I learned something in the process, and completely for free, for no, I didn't pay them. Like, there are lots of people on the internet that help you for free just because they like the technology. Like, of course, when you have like a bigger project, of course you would expect to pay people, but for small stuff, like when people say like, oh yeah, I can help you, it's great. I love the technical community, especially on Twitter. It's very very helpful, almost all of the time.
Yeah, and for example, I didn't know that. I just discovered this I think in February or March, February, that there are a lot of enthusiast developers on Twitter. You are one of them, of course, and I connected with you almost instantly. But yeah, it's full of developers who are there to help you, to answer you if you ask in the proper way. I think that if you ask for something in a proper way, like I've done this, I've tried this, it didn't work. Can you help me? I think that in 99% of times someone will comment and will help you. I'm almost sure about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you have like a concrete question, if you're like, can you teach me JavaScript? No, I can't. But I can point you to amazing courses
of course,
to learn JavaScript, and that also often have like. I always tell people, go to Free Code Camp. It's free and you learn a lot of stuff, and it has a curriculum that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just go there, and many people, even though for in our world, it's like, of course, Free Code Camp. Everybody knows Free Code Camp, but no, like when people just get into it, like, how do I learn JavaScript? Like, they don't know where to start. There's so much information, so many different courses that it's overwhelming. I understand that. So I always point them, go check out Free Code Camp. There's a lot of, you learn HTML and CSS and JavaScript. And after that, you're pretty much set to learn a framework.
Yeah, I think, and that's, for example, it's what Jenny did. She, after Vue.js, she went on Free Code Camp, and she learned JavaScript in that way, for example. She didn't reverse way because she were that company. She started using Vue.js with low knowledge of JavaScript because she used Python and other framework. And then she learned JavaScript with Free Code Camp, for example. So, and she found it useful. So yeah. Yeah, so thank you, Marc. And first, I would like to talk a little bit about your video experience, because this is something that it's very interesting for me. For example, your Whiskey Wednesday YouTube channel. I love that. I missed one maybe for this, because sometimes you invited some people like Telmo and others, maybe Kathleen was there. Yeah, I watched it while I were working. I interacted a bit with you, but yeah, can you tell us a little bit about this project? I like that.
Yes, well, Whiskey Wednesday is a YouTube show / podcast where we talk about web development and everything around it. So we are Scott and I, or Scott Spence and I, like have these like episodes is almost 2 hours long each, and we set a topic for each, like for example mental health, or how to get started on Twitter as a developer, or what else did we have, CSS, how to get into CSS art, for example. So, and then we invite people to come with and talk with us about that topic, that people that are knowledgeable about it. So we had the first one was with Danny Thompson.
Wow.
Motivation.
Wow. No, I missed that. I need to watch that. I missed that. Now, let me stop this. Let's go to watch that now. Yeah, please go to watch that because I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yes, it was on the first episode and on the last episode. So we are on a break now. So we will reboot it in another, let's call it season for January, probably. But yeah, that's the idea. We invite people and we talk about that topic, and like we have like 2, 3, or 4 people on there, and we just talk. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
And when we first, it came out of something strange, because I think it was December last year, when Scott just posted a picture of like something he got at a Christmas party, like a whiskey, Nika from the Barrel. I remember he was like, "Oh yeah, I got this in a Christmas party," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I would like to have a drink with you one day. I want to drink that with you." And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, we should." And then the lockdown came, and we were like, everyone was like, "Oh man, I have to be in my house. I can't see other people. I can't talk to anyone, not really." And I was like, "Hey, why don't we organize? Like, hey, do you want to drink the whiskey now? Because like everything is virtual now, so we can do it." And it was, "Oh yeah, sure." And then we made some Zoom calls where we invited other people, but it was not public yet. And then I told him, like, "Hey, why don't we make a public thing out of it? We record it, or we live stream it even. People can ask questions, and we drink whiskey while discussing web development." And that's where it all started. So at the beginning, yes, that's how it started, and it also started because I wanted to improve my public speaking, or my speaking in front of a camera in general. Because when you watch the first episode of Whiskey Wednesday, you notice that I'm not at all comfortable in front of a live camera.
Now, now I want to watch it now.
Oh, it's I almost want to delete it, but I won't, because it's so horrible. Yes, like the first stream is always horrible.
Yeah, sometimes I'm close to delete, for example, the first episode of this one, but it's okay. I think that we can leave them to let the people watch the difference. I think, I don't know. Yeah. I'll watch it in a year. Maybe I'll watch them again, because maybe it's awkward a bit, but yeah, it's cool. Could be really interesting to see.
But the thing is, it's the same with programming, is with public speaking. When you practice it, you become better. Like, I'm now better than in the first episode of Whiskey Wednesday, and there are 10 episodes. So I had like 10 episodes, like 20 hours to practice that. So also the role of a moderator doesn't come naturally to me, and I still have problems with it, and I'm working on it. But in the first episode, I had so much trouble getting into it, like coordinating the conversation. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, or in front of a live, you know, like out there could be like tens of people, or like 100 people. There are like max 10 people watching it live. So not that much of pressure, but you're like, oh man, so many people could see this. And like, if you do something wrong, if you scratch your face, or it looks weird, but the thing is, nobody really cares about those kind of things. Really, like, you have to get used to it.
Exactly.
And it comes only with practice. You can't learn it from a book. Really.
I totally understand you. And I love to make these videos with not some actors or people really confident in front of camera. You are, for example, but and for me, it's a great experience, because I would like to show that you can get started. You can get started. I've in the, one thing that made this series start. It was the Danny Thompson invited me to talk about Docker for Google Developer Group. And 2 weeks later, I had Danny Thompson in this show. So this was crazy. But if he hadn't invited me there, I don't think that I would have started making this sort of stuff.
That's
amazing. I don't know how many people were there. I watched it like 300. Then I stopped to watch the number because yeah, but there were some, and there were a lot of questions. Yeah, so this was really my first experience as a public speaker, as in English, of course. So I've done something in Italian here, but it was a kind of different experience. I never did this online on a camera. I've done this just sometime just in Italy, explaining something, and it's different. But yeah, if you we need maybe to give us a bit of time to get used to that.
Yeah,
I noticed it because now it's about 2 weeks that I'm doing this, and I already feel different.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that because we did this 1 week before, 1 week ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed any difference, but I feel more comfortable. I don't think every second that someone is watching this, maybe sometimes, but yeah. Because
but your intro was very a lot better than the first time. You're so enthusiastic. You're like almost like the people that they make fun of the YouTubers, like, hello, I'm this and this and this, and check out my and subscribe and this, and like super energetic. You were not that energetic, not over the top, but just the right level. So
when I have 10 minutes free, I watch them and I invite them so much. I can do this too. I invite them so much because, but I think that it's something that I don't know if I think in the end we can find our style, our personal style. I don't know. I'm not studying to do this. I'm just. I'd love to make this with practice. So let's see. Yeah, and I'm happy to have you here today. Yeah, and maybe you have some minutes. Yeah, but I don't want them to be too much long. I don't want to annoy people, of course, because of me, not of you, of course. If you want to talk a bit about your social experience this year, especially because, for example, for me, this has been, I always define this definitively my social year because I was not so active. Instead, I was not active at all, but let's say I was not that active on socials. And instead this year for me, I discovered so many interesting people. So this is my social year, and the year when I finally have uploaded one video on YouTube. My goal was to upload one video, and I think I did that. So, and what about your social experience?
Yes. Well, if you dig in my Twitter history down to December 2019, you see that my how do you call it, my New Year's resolution, and one step of the New Year's resolution was to start a YouTube channel and have 1,000 subscribers, which I'm still not there, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Maybe if I put together the one from Whiskey Wednesday and this one, then maybe I get close to it, but I'm not sure. Either way,
subscribe to his channel, please subscribe to Marc's channel.
youtube.com/Marc Backes codes. Okay. Anyhow, what did I want to say? Oh yeah. When I started off the year, I had in Twitter like I don't remember, like 700 or less, 500 followers. And in December last year, I made a giveaway of a MacBook Pro, and like, of course, people wanted the MacBook Pro because it was a free MacBook Pro, whatever. And like I got more followers because of that, and then it all sort of happened automatically. People followed me, like I shared some content, some funny things, memes and stuff, and jokes, but also some constructive things. And people just started following me more and more. I made some other giveaways, the Udemy courses, and because I thought that people were following me because of them, and I was like, back then I was focused on like, oh, I want a lot of followers, and then I stopped it because I was like, oh, those people just follow me because I'm I'm giving away free stuff, and I stopped away giving free stuff and made more content, and people still followed me. So I was like, okay, people were not just following me because of the free stuff, but also because I have content. And well, what else socially? Oh yes, I got invited to talk at Vuejs Global. That was now in October. In September, I don't even remember. In October, 15th, 13th of October, I think.
Yeah, it was October.
And oh, it was an amazing experience, because even though I had like a little bit of experience before with speaking in front of the camera, I had to record this talk about view reactivity. And yeah, it was pre-recorded, so it wasn't live, but I had a meeting with, or a Zoom meeting with Josh from Vuejs Amsterdam, one of the organizers, and I presented him in the video call my my talk, right? So so he recorded it, and because back then I thought like it was all going to be, it was just going to be pre-recording for fallback in case the live doesn't work. But then they said, oh no, we are going to skip that, and we are just going to have the pre-recordings. And I was like, okay, so now I could do it like way more professional and more detailed and better time optimized by just recording it and editing the video. And I tried it, and it didn't work out because it was so strange to talk to the camera, to present like the slides. And I tried, I had my script, and I tried to present the slides, and it didn't work. It didn't work. So it worked better when I had someone else. So it came off more natural, and people ended up loving the let's call it the live thing, where I just went with it and I not edited.
Yeah, I think I've done both of things. I think maybe on live people they can forgive you more, or maybe you think that you think that people will forgive you more if I say a mistake in live. You say, okay, I just make a laugh and then get going. Instead, if you record something, you don't want that. This is also happened to me. So I think this is in our head, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a lot going on in our heads. I think, like, do you know Gary Vaynerchuk? Gary V.
Gary V, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's like an American motivator / social media guru, whatever. He's very intense, but in a lot of things he says he's right. So what he says is like, you have to stop worrying about what other people think of you. Yeah. So if you get to that point where even you don't care what your parents or your wife or your boyfriend or whatever thinks about you, you become happy and free, and you unlock your potential. So that's something we all have to work on, I think. Like, because of course, I still think about what other people think of me. So I think it's not easy to not to, but something to keep in mind. Like if I do a mistake in my code or in my live stream or whatever, like, what? Who cares? Nobody really.
We all do mistakes.
We all do mistakes. Yes, we all do mistakes. And yes, I think it's an advice that maybe not. We don't have to take it to the super extreme, but it's something we should take a look at. And like it takes you to publish more things, and the more things you publish, the more traction you get, the more people watch your stuff, the more people you can help with your stuff.
I think it's a circle, because you keep getting things out, you get new feedback, and then you start again, and you get maybe more feedback. that's it. So yeah, it's something that keeps happening if you in a circle.
Yeah.
In a circle, yeah.
Yes.
So thank you, Mark. Thank you for everything. Thank you for coming here today. Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
I'm looking forward to try Vue.js, being invited to Whiskey Wednesday, talk to you again. I think we talk every day, so this will not be a problem. And yeah, and please subscribe to his YouTube channel now, and also Whiskey Wednesday. Follow him on Twitter. Do you use any other socials? Maybe Instagram. Yes, one.
Yes, I created
We have
an Instagram account, but there's not much on it yet, but I will work on that.
Yeah. For now, I have just one Instagram account, but I like your idea to create one just for technical stuff, and then you put the
I created.
life. Yeah.
Yes, I had one before, like a personal one, and then I started publishing technical stuff, and people in my circle wrote me, I don't understand any of this. And I was like, oh, that makes sense because it's technical.
I currently have this problem, but I don't want to create another account now. So
yes,
so basically,
it's a hassle, and it's more work, but I don't want to burden people around me with stuff they don't care about. So
yeah, for example, for example, Catalin is a master of this. He keeps separated.
He's.
I don't know how he does this, but yeah, he's a master of this.
Yeah, I think he doesn't sleep.
yeah. Probably now he's not sleeping. Yes. So, thank you, Mark. I hope to have you again later
of course.
In the future. I don't know. We will have maybe a better camera. I promise that I'll make you the best introduction ever next time.
This was already pretty great. So
yeah, we will forget even this one. Yeah. So thank you, Mark. See you next time.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah, bye.